So we're going to take your facing, number 13. It has double notches. It has double notches in here. Same with piece number 1, has double notches in here. Okay? And we're going to align our notches of the facing with your front. So look at this. We're aligning your notches. Okay? Aligning notches. And this piece is a little shorter, right? Because it's going to be our waistband in here. What's the point of bulking up with so much fabric? Then you're going to take your mesh lining, same thing, find your double notches in here, beautiful, and you're going to align with this notches. You're going to align with this notches, pin, make sure notches are beautifully aligning, otherwise your pocket back is not going to go perfectly into the front. Okay, we have to stitch this together, but we have to create a box. We have to create a three-sided box, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to stitch like 1/8 below the notch for 1/2 inch, go in, parallel all the way up, and you will go back to the raw edge, okay? So in other words, you go for 1/2 inch this way, and 1/2 inch this way, okay? So it's going to be just exactly like that. But this one I already trimmed, okay? So after you stitch that, you're going to trim into the corners. From inside of the box, you will trim right into the corner, diagonally, 45 degree, okay? So it's going to be exactly like that. Okay, so from the pan side, it's going to be exactly like this. Trim from one side, and after that, you're going to pull everything to the wrong side of the pan. And look what you're going to do. Because you did the clipping into the corners, you're going to poke this out. So it creates a beautiful 90 degree. Okay, look at this, you're poking out, creates beautiful 90 degree on both sides. Just like that. So look at this, beautiful pocket entrance, okay? Beautiful pocket entrance, okay? And press this, okay? So it's beautiful 90 degree. Press 1/4 on the facing towards mesh lining, and you will stitch, edge stitch, this folded edge only to the mesh lining, okay? So you will stitch it through the mesh lining and 1/4 inch fold, okay? It will be about 1/8 of an inch from the folded edge, okay? Edge stitching. Okay, so this is our front part of your pan. We'll go like that, right? And now, so this is the front. And the back side of the pan is easier. You're going to take your piece number 3 and piece number 11, and you're going to put them right sides together. This is a regular lining of the pocketing, and this is your piece number 3. It's that yoke we have. Right sides together, aligning your notches. But this time you're going to have a simple stitching. From notch to notch, only 1 row of stitching, okay? No box, okay?
1/2 inch.
1/2 inch, that's it. Beautiful parallel from notch to notch, okay? That's it, let's do the step now. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, to finish this pocket, I would like you to put a double top stitch in here on the pocket or entrance, right? And when I say a double top stitch, remember from last class, close to the edge and then 1/4 away from the first stitch. Always edge stitch first, and let's do it on the 3 sides. This way, and this way, okay? And then 1/4 away. So we have nice top stitch. And just to make sure, check mark, your facing is stitched to the lining, okay? So now, I would like you to take this guy, and this one needs to be pressed. Seam allowance has to be pressed towards this back panel, just press it, okay? Not open, towards the back. Okay, align them like that, So I would like you to see what we're doing right now. We're going to create a pocket. We're going to be overlapping our lining pieces, okay? So look at this. We're going to take this guy and we're going to stick our prongs into this opening, okay? Stick it right into here, and if you kept your seam allowances precisely, look how beautiful it is, right? We have to pin it. Don't worry what's happening to the lining because they might be off slightly in here. The most important thing is coming beautifully here. Pin it first of all, like right in here. Pin it right between the notches and right between the notches here. Okay, let me just pin it more so it doesn't slip away from us, okay? Make sure it's perfectly aligned, okay? Okay, so now the next thing, we can move our front out of the way, align your linings. You see they're not perfectly in here, right? For whatever reason, right? Let's not be stressed about this. But now you're ready to stitch your lining pieces together, 1/2 inch, all this on a big J curve coming all the way to the side seam. Don't go up. So you will go 1/2 inch and go by the smaller one, by the shorter one, 1/2 inch all up to here, and then overlap, trimming away your excess in here, okay? Overlap both of them. Okay, after you finished with that, that was step 21. We're ready to go to step 22, and that one is putting side seams together. So after you finished your lining pieces, look at this now. You will take your back panel, bring it like this. My pen is like sticking out. Okay, so now what do we have to do? Now it's an interesting thing. You're going to do single needle stitching and then overlocking. But when you're going to do single needle stitching, you can't go through this area. You will stitch the entrance into the pocket. So single needle stitching will be from notch to the bottom, from notch to the top edge. Okay, so from the single needle, look at this. You will take these guys together and you will go right from the notch, 1/2 inch seam allowance, all the way to the bottom. And then you will go from the notch, align them here, make sure nothing is unpinned. It's perfectly like solid. From notch all the way the short little distance. Backstitch, 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 okay? But then you have to overlap, and when you overlap, you go all the way through. Do not stop and go, because overlapping is not going to stitch your entrance into the pocket, okay? Then just overlap, okay? And after that, I want you to press. So this is the side. I want you to press the seam towards the back, okay? Like you see how it's pressed already towards the back? Press your seam towards the back completely. And for this side, we're going to do single top stitch. Right now, you're going to be practicing. Which one do you like better, single or double, right? Because for practice, you can do either. So you're going to do on one side single, on the other one double later, okay? So single top stitch means 1/4 inch from the fold on the back side. So seam is pressed towards the back. And then, so this side is prepared. And then after that, you're going to take your, so this is our left side. And then you're going to take your right back, right front. The back has pocket. Right front piece number 31. Put them together at the side seams. Put them together at the side seam. There's nothing fancy in here. 1/2 inch seam allowance, overlap, press towards the back. And for this one, you will do double top stitch. For this one, you will do double top stitch. Means you're going to do edge stitch and then top stitch away. Okay. Also, good thing to remember when you're doing top stitching, set your dial to number 4. When you're doing regular stitching, set it back to 2.8 up to 3. Please remember, okay? For the top stitch, we don't want to have small little dots, okay? We want to have a decent top stitching, like bigger steps, okay? Okay, so, okay, let's do step 21 and 22. Our left side is the guy with the yoke and the side pocket, right? And the side pocket, beautiful. That's our left. And our right side is no fancy, nothing fancy is going on in there, right? Just a plain seam and double top stitch towards the back, right? So we have prepared. So this side is ready for us to put our poacher's pocket. That's the next pocket we're working on, the poachers, okay? And I mentioned to you before, poachers means it has pleats, right? It's like a 3D pocket. It's not a patch pocket, okay? So that's going to be this pocket now. It's going to be this pocket, right? With the box pleat and the mesh pleats, okay? So I would like you to take your piece number 14. We're going to step number 20. We're going to skip 23 and 24 because that will be your homework. It's preparing a flap the same way you already did and you know how to do it, okay? So we will go to 25. You will take your piece number 14. You will take your piece number 14, and there are sets of notches on top and bottom. You have 3 notches, center notch and the 2 notches to the side, same on the bottom. You have to create inverted pleat. Inverted pleat. In other words, you will pleat the notches, the 2 outside notches, okay? Create pleats and bring them towards the center notch like that, okay? Press, press, and I would like you to actually stitch your pleats. Only the pleats. You don't stitch them down to the pocket. We want our pocket to have the 3D effect, right? But stitch a 1/4 of an inch here and a 1/4 of an inch here. So that's what you're going to have. You see the stitch? Stitch. Okay, after you stitch that, you will take your facing, piece number 16. You will take your facing, piece number 16, and you will press a 1/4 of an inch on 2 shorts in, so towards the wrong side. 1/4 of an inch towards the wrong side, press, okay? And you're going to put it on top of your pocket with the pocket pleated, right, and down. You will put it on top. You see we have like a little areas exposed here, and you're going to stitch a 1/4 of an inch across. You will stitch a 1/4 of an inch across, okay? Across, like this, across. Just the top. And when you're stitching across, I would really recommend to make sure your pleating does not open. If you need to stitch your pleating here so it doesn't open up like that, okay? So it doesn't open up. Stitch it first, like go across so it stays together, okay? And I would even recommend stitch it on the bottom too so it doesn't open up later, okay? We don't want to have gapping in here, okay? So, and then I would like you to take your mesh pleating, the small pieces, your number 21. You have 2 of those number 21s, okay? Check that. And I would like you to, on each piece, fold 1/4 under, and stitch across 1/8, okay? On both of them, only one side, not the other, okay? Not the other, only one side, okay? And after that, I would like you to place this, look at this, a 1/4 of an inch below the top edge, 1/4 of an inch below the top edge, like this, and pin it. This is a knit fabric. If you're not going to pin it, it's going to stretch out. We don't want it to stretch out. It needs to end exactly where it needs to end before your curve starts going, okay? And you're going to stitch right sides together, 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way until the curves start happening, okay? On both sides, okay? Your pleats will go on both sides. That's all for now, okay? Piece 23 and 25. 23 and 24. Oh, geez, the steps. 23, 24. All it is, it's the same flap, just different size, bigger one, right? Then for the other pocket you did. Remember how you did this? You fused one side, put them right sides together, stitch 1/4, clip your corners on V, turn right side out, press, top stitch. Don't forget this guy. That's all. That's all for the homework. So you will, and you will finish this. Exactly what you see in here, right? If you need to take a picture how it's supposed to look like, right? So that's exactly what we want to see. So this and this. This one you should finish it now, right? But this one, you already did the flap for the other pocket, okay? That's it. And on Thursday, because of the senior design review, we won't have the lab, right? So we will just plug back together after spring break. But you will, over the spring break, will finalize completely your fabrication, right? whatever you will need to purchase for the board shorts for the actual one, okay? Let's say mesh or whatever that's going to be, okay? Just finalize and your prints too, okay? And you have a class today, by the way. Which one?